Moving ahead, I would like to call upon Saurabh Tewari, Director and Chief Technology Officer, Telecom, Dell Technologies. He is an expert in end-to-end cross-domain mobile network solutions, architect and troubleshooter with a strong background in radio network planning, design, and optimization. Specialties include CEM, software tool platforms, advanced computing, hardware-based solution design, mobile devices, heterogeneous networks, and mobile roaming, techno-commercial feasibility analysis. Known for his excellent communication and presentation skills, over to you, Saurabh.
How potentially transformative can 5G really be? So what you see on the left is the parameter of both 4G and 5G networks, okay? And one of the parameters that we generally talk about most often is throughput, okay? Which is this right here. Now, what you see here is that throughput is increasing by a factor of 10, okay? Similarly, latency, which is one of the biggest reasons why 5G becomes so very transformative, is decreasing by a factor of 10, right? Similarly, mobility is increasing. And of course, the ability to support more and more connections is also increasing by a factor of 10, right? The ability for a network to serve traffic is increasing by a factor of 100. And spectral efficiency is increasing by a factor of 3. And so is energy efficiency. So what do all of these factors have in play when we come to discussing the transformative capabilities of 5G? 5G essentially is going to herald the newer industrial revolution, or Industry 4.0 as we know it, right? Latency can be, when reducing latency, you can achieve business logic and use cases that were previously not thought possible at all, okay? And for that, let's discuss about what really is happening by data which is being generated across the edge by IoT devices and consumed and processed by AI systems. So these are IDC figures which predict that the global datasphere is going to reach 175 zettabytes by the year 2025. Now, since this study was done in November of 2018, these figures should increase significantly because of the pandemic situation that the world was exposed to. So what we predict is that this is going to increase to perhaps 200 to 250 zettabytes. And all of this is going to be driven by us as a society, us as the industry, as well as governance. So of the 175 zettabytes, 90 zettabytes will be created by IoT devices, which include telemetry and sensor data. And most of this will have to be consumed in real time for it to really make any sense. The average digital interaction per person will grow from 800 to approximately 5,000 interactions per person. And these are, of course, pre-pandemic figures, so they're going to be significantly higher, and they've probably already achieved approximately 3,500 to 4,000 transactions at this very moment. At the end of all of this, edge will be fueled by devices and connectivity enabled by 5G. The IoT market is expected to reach $1.5 trillion by 2025. And 5G, along with the multi-access edge computing, or the MEC, will deliver transformation across all industry verticals. So let's talk about one small segment of the industry, which is manufacturing, which is where 5G is essentially going to play a major, major role. So what we are looking at here is sensors and actuators, which together work in close coordination with a 5G network, which gathers data, acquires data, sends it over to a mobile edge compute infrastructure or a system which has 5G capabilities, in addition to having AI, ML capabilities to analyze data that is being acquired in real time. And while it is analyzing that data, it is also providing closed loop feedback to the systems, okay? So that acquiring data is just one part of the puzzle. You also need to react immediately, okay? So for example, imagine, a small microprocessor which is being, incorporated onto a PCB, right? And these kind of assembly lines run at several thousand units per hour. So latency plays a major role here. So if you allow a defective part to go through the assembly line and make it to the final production assembly, okay, you could essentially end up with a faulty part, okay? And that faulty part will immediately, cause problems when it is incorporated into a device like a PC or a TV or an air conditioner, right? So the reduced latency enables you to immediately pinpoint where a fault has occurred, okay, and remove that part before it can go in and cause trouble in the finished product. Similarly, predictive maintenance is going to add a huge amount of reliability to the manufacturing process, okay? At the same time, just-in-time manufacturing, coordinated manufacturing across discrete locations is going to be much simpler to manage because you have real-time feedback from GPS systems, which will provide connected industry across multiple continents or countries with the ability to coordinate manufacturing to a degree that never has been possible in the past. So what is it that Dell is doing in this entire ecosystem? So we're working closely with manufacturers of systems, with network equipment providers, and together we've come up with truly groundbreaking servers like the XR11 and the XR12, which are supporting the latest generation of Intel Xeon scalable CPUs along with persistent memory. These servers have a wide range of applications starting from Open RAN, Industry 4.0, oil and gas, marine usage, military usage, pretty much anything that is at the edge. They run at up to 55 degrees centigrade and are NEBS and MIL standard compliant. They do not compromise, simply because they're at the edge, they do not compromise on the standard security that is expected from a server that is running at the core. So you have pretty much everything in it: cryptographically signed firmware, secure boot, secure arrays, Silicon root of trust, system lockdown, DPM compliance, FIPS compliance, okay? And most of all, they are certified by leading network providers. So Dell is working very, very closely with pretty much all industry verticals to create products which will essentially work in close coordination with 5G networks and create solutions that can pretty much transform any industry vertical. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh, for such wonderful insights.